Welcome everyone. We're going to do a throwback here to a series that I was running, and I don't know why, but it gets kind of halted in the middle. But I've had several inquiries about it over the last uh, year, and so I wanted to get back into it. Now the playlist is 50 styles of slow stitching. And I think I completed 16 different pieces. And so I'm going to pick it back up and do a few more and add to that playlist. What this is a wonderful exercise in learning to design and learning why the choices you make are critical to your projects and how you can express yourself by the choices that you make in color and texture and so forth. Because we make, in this playlist, we make the very same pattern over and over and over again. But we play with design, and it teaches us how that every choice we make is pivotal to the design that we end up with. Now, for instance, this is the pattern. It's one simple big flower, two little ones, a stem, and four leaves. That's all there is to it. It's very simple in that respect. And the size that overall size that we're working with is approximately, it's 5.5 or 6 to about 8 or 9, a 6x9 or 5x8. I have some of both. So, but that, you can see that your template is a big flower and little flower. That's it. You can cut a leaf and you can cut a stem free-handed. But if you keep the same size, that helps you to be consistent on each piece. All right. Now, what you do inside of these flowers is strictly up to you. But this is your basic pattern over and over and over again. So I encourage you to go back to that playlist, and I'm going to put it in right below in the description so it's easy to find, and see how that is working out. I did one with a coastal theme. I did one with high contrast. I did one with pastels, just different things to start teaching you how to use your color and your fabric choices, okay? Now, as you can see between these two, it's the same identical pattern. It's the same flower, the big flower. How I chose to do the middle is different. The stem, the 4 leaves, and the 2 flowers, okay? So you can see what a difference each one makes, what the personality, the look, the color scheme, everything is just so different, yet it's the very, very same shape. Learn to play with your color and your fabrics. Now we're going to do one from scratch, just to get those of you who've never seen this or never done it, give you a chance to work along with me a little bit. Now this one I've chosen to put my fabric is, I believe, 6x9 and a little piece of lace across. I do have a piece of batting on the back, and I have chosen to work with some of this, and I have this remnant here piece that I thought it would be fun to try to use also. So I'm going to try to use those two things and maybe some additional yarns and stuff like that. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch this onto the background so that I can get the pins out of the back, and also my background will be stable, okay? So to do that, I'm going to stitch with some coordinating thread on this piece here. And let's see, I'm going to need a needle. Okay. I'm just going to do a running stitch around this. This is really just to get my background stabilized with my two pieces. And so it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Doesn't have to be straight or even stitches. Whatever you want to put on here is fine. It will blend in with that lace in my situation pretty good. We'll see. And it shouldn't take too long to get around this piece either. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take out these two pins. Okay, I'm going to stitch the rest of this off camera. Be back in just a minute. Okay, I've got that stitched around the outside, and that is now stable, and I can work on this very easily. So the first thing I want to try to do is get my largest flower cut, and that way I can kind of start my layout and see where I'm going to go with this. Now, I'm thinking that I will just use what's here. Let me cut my template here. And as you can see, this is just free-handed. The 5-petal flower, and the size works good for the 5x8 or 6x9 background piece. It doesn't really matter. Okay, thinking I'm going to put it right in the middle of that and see how that turns out as a flower cut out. And I'm going to cut this out so that it's not so hard to deal with flopping fabric everywhere. Okay. Again, nothing has to be perfect. Every time you cut this flower, it's going to be a little different. It's a lot of fun to do this because every one you do is different. Even though you work in the exact same pattern, everyone is different. Now this will make a beautiful set of quilt blocks if you wanted to make a quilt out of them, or a row of stitched together for a wall hanging, or anything like that. Get a little bit of my coffee there. Okay, there's a flower. There's our main flower. Okay, now we need a couple of little flowers. So let's see. We can cut out of here. What I do, there they are. Oh, that's my fabric scissors. I'll get my paper scissors. Okay, there we have a little flower. Let's find us a couple of little flowers in here that we could use. Kind of different colors. Well, let's maybe try that one. Let's get him down to a manageable size. Now, you certainly don't have to start with a floral fabric. You go back and look at the playlist and all the different ways and types of fabrics and colors and things that I use for these flowers, and how I embellish them and so forth and so on. You can do a little bit of fussy cutting. You want to shape your flower a little different. Okay. Now we have, let's pull out our pattern again, one of our patterns, so we can see how the placement goes. So we do know we got a bigger flower down here, a littler one right there. So let's get a littler one right there. Okay, what do we want to do that out of? I think we have some just pure. Okay, let's do it out of this corner piece. I'm going to cut this with the template, and then I'm going to cut it down a little more so it becomes a smaller flower than the other one. Okay. Just use the template, but now we're gonna shave it down some. Okay, a little bit smaller than this one, and that one will basically sit up in there. Okay. Now let's simulate, let's see what we're going to do here. I was thinking that I could use this for my stem. Coming from the bottom up to there. You know what? That's too light. I need to cut it out of the black. Put those in my little snippet thing over here. The black now will show up better. Okay, so we have a stem, and we have an approximate flower and approximate flower. I need a little bit, another little bit of a stem piece. This one's not very long, and it works out from here over that one. Okay, now we need some leaves, and again I'm going to use what's in this fabric. Where was that at? Okay, I know I've got a couple over here. See these leafy things? So I'm just going to use those since they're already there. We have one that comes out here. And we have a large one that comes out here. Okay, then we have two smaller ones. Let's see what we can do with those. Gonna cut those out of something different. And I think we're gonna do this. How about something like that? And it can go right in there. And then we need another one. Let's go up. Let's see. Let's put this one over here. And put this one over here. Okay. Now, simple as pie, don't you think? Pretty colors, definitely pretty fall colors. Now you can put, depending on how we stitch this, what threads we use, we can pull up these colors away from other colors if we want to do that. We can also play with, let's see here, let me find a piece I want to work with. Okay, let me try this one. Since this flower and those leaves blend so much, I'm going to try cutting the flower out of a different color. And I'm going to take this leaf and put it over here because it's different from this color. And that works better. And I'll put this leaf down here. And let's try this different color leaf. Okay. What we're trying to do is get these flowers, even though the fabrics are very much alike, we want them to contrast against each other and not blend totally together. Okay, that's better. Don't you think that's better? Yeah. Now, this piece is so busy. These pieces here are very, very, very busy. So, I don't think I have to do a whole lot of embellishing. I think once I get the stitching down, I'll know for sure what I want to do. But just getting these stitched, I think will just, just tell us a whole lot. So now the point is that probably I'll take this off and this. And then I will pin these down. Pin these stems down. Go ahead and pin the leaves in. Since I know they're in good position, I'll go ahead and pin them down so that I can stitch them in. The stitching you want to do is your choice. It can be decorative stitching. It can be just straight stitching around the edges or overcasting or however you want to do it, but it doesn't have to be. I like to do it simple. This one is just overcast stitches and straight stitches. Basically I did some decorative stitches here, a little bit of decorating on the stitches out here, but that was it. So this piece now is ready to stitch, and you can already see same pattern, totally different piece. Fabric choices, color choices, texture choices, pattern choices. They all are design elements that you use to your benefit to create whatever it is you want to create. Okay? So follow this series and I'll be making more of these, and I won't be showing the process on every one. A lot of the videos will be simply showing you an end result to give you some of the ideas and inspiration. But on this one, I'll be back with another video to complete this one and the stitching. Till next time, let's stay scrap happy. Well, what do you think? I love it. Do you love it? Let's look at it closer. as you can see, what I did was I cut another motif out of the fabric and put it in the center as my center of this flower. Then I just took some threads and couched them across, and let me straighten that one out there. There you go. And just put that little adornment there. I used 2 different color threads and just over couched with one, and then I went back with another color for this flower here. The leaves, I just did an over stitch on the outside on each of the leaves. On 2 of the leaves, I did the vein look down the center of the leaf. I didn't do it on this one. It had that pattern going on there, and I liked that, so I left that. The little flowers, I just did the overcast on them, and then just put a button in the center. Okay, this flower I overcasted in black, so it stays kind of dark into the background. This one I overcast in a pink color and pulls it up just a little bit more forward. And so I really like this. I think that it came out very well. Just with a few fussy cut pieces out of a piece of fabric that was floral, you could see how you can make a very beautiful piece of fabric art by just strategically cutting something out, like a leaf shape or a flower, out of something that's already in the fabric. Okay, now I do believe that the lace on this background really helps to set this off, so I'm really glad I chose to do that. So this is number, I believe, 17 of 50 that I hope to complete all 50 someday. But again, all 50 will be the same flower, just using different fabrics and trims and other things, just to give you lots of inspiration of how you can change things continually by the choices you make in the materials that you use. And also remembering that 99% of what I use is scraps. And so if you've got just a scrap of something, think about it, put a little thought into it, and see how you can make it work in your work. All right, till next time, we'll look forward to number 18 in 50 styles of slow stitching.